Hey YouTube, this is React Pact. I'm John.
I'm Rose.
I'm Nikki.
And this is the final episode of Season 5 for My Hero Academia. And maybe the final episode for the villain arc?
Yeah, probably.
Hero arc?
I think the villain arc ended last episode.
Yeah. So you don't think we're going to see a final anything for that group?
I think we're gonna see them in this episode, just not. It's not their academy anymore.
I'm hoping for a little top off though for them in terms of what they're gonna do next, since they've introduced them as kind of not protagonists, but the main characters of a kind of their own story going on. But anything you guys hoping that they address or they talk about before we move on? Because I know we're gonna talk about at the end of this. By the way, we will have a season discussion and we'll talk about it versus other seasons that we've seen. Yeah. So anything you guys hoping for?
I'm hoping to see more on the vestiges because we just kind of got left.
Yeah.
What's the best?
Midoriya's
Midoriya's
predecessors.
I don't think they'll get into it too much because in order to get into it at all, it needs more time. Maybe they'll give another sneak peek, but I doubt they'll like explain anything.
Yeah, I'm thinking sneak peek. Because remember last season it literally was the last episode, last 5 minutes, he has his dream. And it's like, you're the new one, right? And then blow up a window. And that was it.
That was it.
Can't believe the end of the season like that. But
They'll probably do something again like that, especially after the last couple episodes with the Villain Academy. We haven't seen them.
Yeah.
So I feel like it could be something with Eri, maybe?
Right? That still has yet to be resolved.
Yeah.
There's a lot they could do with them to come back to our group. So I'm excited to see what kind of cliffhanger they choose to leave us on.
What I'm looking at this as is there's a lot that hasn't been touched on. And if it's not touched on, that's what I'm going to be talking about in the review section.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of waiting to say, okay, did they talk about that? Did they talk about that?
Yeah.
All
All right. But guys, thank you very much for being here, guys. If you like your time here, please leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and check out the Patreon description if you just want to support us, or if you want to see the new Saturday show a week early. So it is going to be Patreon first with the Star Wars Visions 1X1. I don't know why I call it that. This first episode of Star Wars Visions will be up on Patreon for patrons to view. It will be the new Saturday show replacing My Hero Academia. And the first episode is going to be a 1-episode drop for this week. But normally it will be a 2-episode each Saturday. But guys, thank you guys very much for being here. And we'll see you guys in discussion.
That's what made them happy. Oh, he's here. It was Jean.
Best genius. He's so angry. He's so euphoric. Is that?
It looks like her mother.
That's Iraq's mom.
I just realized he was holding it with all fingers. So he can control it now?
Yeah.
Regeneration.
The
singularity, we're hearing it again.
Did he come up with it? Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, apparently.
This guy is everywhere.
How old is this man?
Fish Islands.
For 4 months.
Oh my god.
Gross.
Even one for all?
Oh.
So they know about One for All. Okay.
Well, he gave it to him.
Yeah.
We're back.
Skynet.
Skynet.
Nope.
Oh, look at
Belly button boy!
Naval saber.
Whoa.
Oh.
She's good at bouncing now.
Gotten a lot stronger.
She can bend light.
He still has stomachache.
Judgment Day. Oh.
She can put herself in it now.
It was scary.
She's got one of the scariest powers, honestly.
Yeah, he's just spewing blood. Crushing, crushing,
Aw.
crushing, 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 crushing. I ship it.
Manners.
Oh, Mr. Gentleman. Normal hero?
Yeah. Because he could have gone anywhere, but he chose to go there, remember?
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
You got
It looked like something went wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
it did. That's a good point. Alright.
Aww.
Haven't you already said thank you for this? Yeah. Poor Sarah.
It's like, what's the point of me?
Well,
Oh no, it is Eri.
progress.
Oh, she's
Oh,
having
he's
a
back.
headache.
It's ready to use. Previous successor quirks. Okay.
Oh boy.
Are they gonna show us any?
Are we?
Come on. Second or third users.
Banjo.
Yay.
Hmm.
It's me ways.
He's not wrong, yeah.
Yeah.
So it could only pass the weaker ones.
Yeah.
Ooh, glimpse.
Oh, face.
Were they the only ones that...
It looks like it kept being passed on as they were dying.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many of them.
They all died
since
young.
the time.
That's sad, man. Float.
He's gonna fly! Bruh. Okay. Gonna die. At least he's not backing down this time. You can't take it away. He says to try.
What the hell?
Just die.
How do you not cut through any of them? Yeah, his life has changed the most out of anybody. I think.
Normally, of course you were.
No.
No. He looks so he's like, bro. He's like, bro.
さから来る中毒症状です。手厳しいな。してあげられてますよ。生きてここにいる。それだけで背中を押される人間がたくさんいます。あなたは堂々とふんぞり返っててください。変わらず。そうだね。
That music is
Yeah.
not matching.
No.
They're
Something-
building up to something.
Yeah.
Backer, huh?
Hospital, yeah. So he's putting it
Whoa,
together.
everybody's going to the hospital.
その間に情報を収集し、解放戦線を丸裸にする。
Okay, he's waving.
X デーはもうすぐだ。
Toga looks suspicious of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, Toga's the smart one.
Oh. Expeditionary?
Another country? Hey, maybe to that one country.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. Polka dotty hair. He's still giving hope.
Alright.
It begins!
Alright.
Discussion!
Yeah, so that's the end of season 5.
Yeah.
We gotta wrap up for some things, not everything. But yeah, so the first thing that jumped out, of course, is Shigaraki is in the hospital for 4 months being tortured.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of his own volition, but he's being tortured.
Yeah.
In pain.
That's,
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Some dedication.
what
right
I'm
there.
wondering is, it says 4 months for that,
Didn't
right?
Sleep.
But also, didn't Hawks say that the Liberation Army was going to
It was
make a
in
move
4
in
months.
4 months?
I think it was waiting on him.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, as soon as he wakes up, we're at war. That what he's doing?
I guess.
Probably. And since we're going on an expeditionary thing, does that mean that the rest of the Hero Association know about the 4-month thing that Endeavor uncovered from Hawks?
I think they had mentioned something in a previous episode where they wanted to get them out of the way for something. Because they had had too many scandals. Am I misremembering?
Get who out of the way? The students?
Wasn't
No.
there something about the students?
I don't
That
know.
they kept getting in so much, they kept putting the students in danger and they didn't want to know the scandal and they didn't, so they were trying to avoid something. Is that this?
That's what they were doing before when they said no work study for a long time, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, let's do
Okay,
work studies,
okay.
Yeah.
and nobody
Because-
understands why they're doing it now.
Oh, I'm thinking of the OVA where they went to the island.
Mm.
That's when they sent them away.
Mm.
The reason why they're doing work studies now is because it was government requested.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, and they were like, oh, if it's a request, it means it's a demand, and therefore
Yeah.
something's happening.
They want them to be ready. They
Mm.
want
Yeah.
a new because that was it. They said the only people they can be 100% certain aren't a part of this new liberation front. All
Were
this
the
thing
students.
are the students.
Mm.
Everybody else they don't know.
Which brings me to the first point.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure we saw Uraraka's mom.
Yeah, in the Metal Liberation Army
Yeah,
place.
at first I was like, wait.
That was
I-
her with
yeah,
the
is it
eyelashes.
just- is it similar? But no, she looks
No.
exactly
She looks
like Uraraka.
exactly like,
Mom.
and she has a little bit of blush, not as much as Uraraka does,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
that might be a hint that we might end up fighting people that we already know.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is maybe that was just trying to show like the everyday people are caught up in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. They said they have 110,000 soldiers. Is that the standing army, and are there extensions to that, or is it that that's counting everybody, and not everybody in that 110,000
Can
are
fight,
soldiers?
right?
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
which
sure
side of that coin does it fall on?
it counts people who have formally joined.
Just anybody who's in.
But there's probably other people who haven't formally joined but are of the same mindset.
Yeah, like followers of a sort.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing is this isn't just a League of Villains. This is a full-on armed group.
Civil War. Yeah.
Yeah, because these guys, they've got Detnerat, which is a massive company, financial backing, and more than that, they've got a political party.
Yeah.
A political party.
Yeah.
And then they've got an infinite information network led by that one guy who seemingly can hack into anything. An information network is very powerful in the modern age. So they've got a shadow country.
Yeah.
So yeah. I wouldn't have thought that they. This funny thing is, as much as I wanted them to be a serious threat, I thought they'd be a serious threat to the UA kids in high school before Shigaraki. But I wouldn't have thought they could possibly wreak as much pandemonium as maybe they hope.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think anybody in their group was of too high level of threat compared to our group. Now with Shigaraki, now I can see a massive scale, insane war happening.
Very, very big problem.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
and an entire town willing to go to war just to defend them from like 4 guys.
But will it get to that point, or are we going to see another decapitation? Like, are we going to have a heroes immediately fight the leaders of these guys, or are we going to get to see that big fight? Because they've been building up for something, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get to see a large-scale confrontation, and they don't like, all right, fight leaders, leaders fight leaders. I hope that's not what happens. I want to see skirmishes. I want to see groups of fighting people.
Oh my goodness.
And the doctor mentioned Tomoru being able to have one for all. Did
Is
he
that
say
what he said?
I was trying to figure out what he said. Something about you can have. He was like talking about how what you could have, even one for all, is what he ended with.
Okay, that's super important. So let me just back it up.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember. All right. So is he saying that nothing can stop you, even one for all, or is he saying that no, we've always had the ability to reimplant it? It's just it couldn't work before, and now we'll be able to give it to you. Is that what he's saying?
It's a good question. It could be either. The way it said everything in the palm of your hand. To me, you say that when you mean you can go and get anything you want, not necessarily that you have everything.
Yeah.
So it could be he's saying that you can beat that, you can beat one for all, but it wouldn't be as powerful unless it was you could have one for all.
It's just Shigaraki's reaction.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, really? You know,
Yeah.
like that sounds like almost as if he'd be getting it. Is what he's implying.
It's true. That's what I'm thinking too.
Because in the palm of your hand means all you have to do is close your hand. That means you don't immediately have it. So that kind of contradicts him being able to get it.
Yeah.
But maybe just
I'm wondering if he's just saying he'll give him a power that rivals one for all.
maybe, or I wonder if this is even a translation thing. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. So someone clear it up, please. I'll read it and we'll get all caught up to speed. What exactly is he saying here? But or is it supposed to be ambiguous? Like if you could give us those. Float.
Yes, he has
can
floating
float
power
now,
Well,
or going to.
well, yeah, that's the next power to learn.
Yes.
Which is interesting because he has to have skipped his master, right? Because he has to have learned Black Whip, which came before his master.
Which is 4th, yeah.
So how come the next one to learn is Float?
Well, he was saying when the master, not the master, the vestige was talking to him, the old Black Whip guy, he was saying something about how it's a good thing you got this one.
Yeah.
As if like the others, trying to get the others would have been like painful or dangerous.
Or difficult.
Yeah, like imagine if he suddenly was able to float. He'd probably like be up in the sky, and then if it turns off, he's like dead.
Yeah.
Something like that. So maybe that's what he was talking about. If he were, unless there's something more to float.
I was just wondering what's the sequence of events? Like if I was hoping All Might would get into that of you're going to learn this one and then the thirds and the sixth. Like, is there a pattern here? Because Black Whip, he jumped way back, you know.
Yeah.
And he even said you're lucky that it was this one first, as if implying that there isn't necessarily a system.
Yeah.
But
I think the reason All Might chose float is because he knows his
knows
master,
float.
Knows it, yeah.
and he can tell
Probably
maybe
coach him.
yeah, exactly. He'll be able to coach him a little bit better,
That makes
as
sense.
opposed to knowing about the others and be like, well, they kind of were able to do this. If
Yeah.
you can
Is it-
visualize yourself.
It's not like you're getting Michael Phelps as coach. You're getting Michael Phelps' his best friend who watched him practice.
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
That said, so if Deku gets this, he's Superman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
But
with
could,
Black Whips.
All Might could fly before.
He's Superman
jumped.
and Wonder Woman.
No,
at
he
once.
jumped.
Yeah, so he just jumped so high that it seemed like
Basically,
he was
what
flying.
Midoriya is doing, because he
Yeah.
uses his power to kind of launch
Yeah,
himself.
to a lesser extent, because All Might, when he jumped, he'd be up there for like a minute. Or
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
But
Yes,
But he'll be able to. Sorry, what?
I said he's Superman and Wonder Woman at the same time.
and more, yeah. He's he's going to be at the end of this
You're
show.
supposed to laugh.
One of the. I'm sorry, I took it seriously.
Okay.
Just at the end of the show, he's going to be one of the most powerful heroes in all of fiction.
That's
Which
what he
is what
keeps
he's supposed to
saying.
be.
He's saying, and I'm telling you the story of how I became
became
the
the
number
number
one
one
hero.
Yeah, and because there's been multiple attempts at making a super powerful hero in fiction before, and I'm wondering if, this is going well. So I'm wondering if, is this the only way to do it? Because any time a comic or people try to introduce a new Superman, this doesn't go well. It doesn't sell well. It's hard to believe. Oh, this guy is such a Mary Sue. He's so overpowered. But originally, all the heroes were Mary Sues.
Yeah.
Superman came out of nowhere. He's the strongest hero on the planet. So these days, you got to go through these massive training arcs to be able to get it. But
People have to feel like you earned it.
you have to feel like you earned it nowadays.
Yeah.
But not that I'm complaining, because I was shocked when I learned he could get other powers, and now that we just got another one, I'm just more curious. What are these other ones that were weak?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, so that was an interesting part of the discussion. So because All for One was defeating all the strongest, only the weak were a choice for him to pass on.
Yeah.
Like, he was weak. The originator who got it from All for One was weak himself.
Very weak.
Yeah, physically, bad constitution. And he basically, whoever had a good personality got it,
Yeah.
that he liked. And it was passed on that way. And it was kind of under the radar because of it. And I think it's because of All Might why it's become so much more in the limelight, because All Might was just an epic. I guess because of the singularity thing.
Yeah.
All Might was the hope.
Yeah.
Which this makes a lot of things make sense now. Whereas he didn't. Why did he give his brother the power? Because he felt like a god.
Yeah.
And then why did he let his brother keep the power? Why did this continue on? It's because everybody strong was dead.
Yeah.
If all the time he's facing people who are near his level or close to his level of power, he fights them and he kills them. Why would he be worried about the guy who can throw around some whip thingies?
Yeah.
Like, who is that guy? I don't care.
Yeah.
I just had a fight with the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I won. I don't care about this guy.
Yeah.
So because that's something I thought of. I think it brought up in some reactions is how is it that these guys operated at all in this world where All for One was?
Yeah. That was it's interesting answer and a satisfactory one.
Yeah. So also I really like, so each person who gets it grows exponentially.
Yeah.
Which again, with the whole quirk singularity thing, it makes it so that this is the perfect power. As generations go by, it gets stronger. So whoever has this quirk will always be able to contend with the worst of the humanity.
It also explains why Midoriya couldn't just right out of the gate use all of them, because with the quirk singularity, things are also getting more out of control and more ambiguous
and more complex.
Yes.
Which makes you wonder if it will eventually be a time where it takes like 10 years before you unlock all the
Yeah,
powers.
your quirks, yeah.
Yes.
What if that means that there's people only using one quirk, but they actually have a bunch?
Oh, but they can only use one. Yeah, that's interesting.
It would explain why there are people why they're able to morph their powers so much as they grow up. Look at Naval Laser. Look what he can do now. Now he can make a sword. Now he can shoot multiple out of his body, all different holes. An invisible girl can now refract light. So I'm thinking that these powers are not just getting more complex. I think they're almost as if they're mutating with the person as they grow.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see them actually bring that into the show in the future.
Because we were talking about that whole personality, what came first, personality or quirk.
Yeah.
And I'm in the camp now of the quirk. You have the potential for a quirk, and you have the seeded genes of who came in before you. But you, as you grow up, you mold a new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just happens that most people become their parents because that's what they're expecting and they're trying for.
Yeah.
But also, the kids, they're going to be second years.
Yeah, when it warms up again.
Oh my goodness,
So
a high school anime that we actually graduate? Is it going to happen?
If it keeps this pace, we're going to need season 15 for them to graduate.
For them to go to college? Yeah.
For them to actually get out of there.
For them to get out of school, yeah.
I
And
don't
will
think
there
there's a college.
yeah, I was gonna say it. There
don't
wouldn't
think
make
there'd be
sense to be
Nah.
a college after this. This is serious training.
Yeah,
It
this
makes
is
sense
essentially
to
a
me.
glorified trade school.
Yeah. Trade school, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing the work studies, their apprenticeship. They're going to just send them out there.
The only reason it would make sense for there to still be a college to me is because you have technical schools, technical high schools, but you also can graduate into a technical college. or a technical university.
I'd imagine that there would be some heroes' quirks where they follow that avenue. Maybe people like what's her name, the girl who builds things. Perhaps she would graduate into a higher level institution.
That would make
Where
sense.
it's like, okay, you can build now, do these on this fundamental level. Maybe MacLeod lady, if she wanted to, could go in that go in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But I think most people probably there's
Just
no
go straight
reason for
into-
them to do anything
yeah.
else because they're already operating as heroes at this young age.
Yeah.
Also, so they mentioned that means there's going to be underclassmen.
Yes.
But they did counter it immediately with, we're not really going to interact with them much.
Right.
Because there's no clubs at school, but there's no way that we're going to see them a few times at the
Yeah.
festival and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine there's going to be some mentor relationships eventually that's going to blossom at some point.
Is there any young kid that we've seen who's might be old enough to become a high schooler?
If they accelerate his age, Waterboy from
Oh yeah,
The
the
one-
guy who hated him.
the
Who
guy who
hated
hated
Midoriya.
Deku, he had the guy, they attacked the camp. And he was
Oh,
at the
the
camp.
first camp that
Yeah, I
they
don't
attacked.
remember his
yeah,
name.
yeah, I remember. And he something to do with shoes.
I don't know
Are
about his
shoes
age.
involved?
No,
No,
he
what?
had he
I
had
don't know why I'm
very
remembering
prominent
shoes.
shoes, but he
Very big boots.
he hated
He hated him
who were heroes.
in the beginning, yeah.
Yeah,
And
his
then in
parents
the
were
end,
killed.
in the end, Midoriya saved him, and the way he saved him is what changed.
One of
his
the
mind.
first super hype moments with 1,000,000%.
Yeah, no, it was 100%. Because we were always at like 15 before.
Yeah, that's why I think it was insane. I think it was 1,000,000% because he
no,
was
it was
pushing.
100. It was 100.
It couldn't have been 1,000,000.
But I know it didn't make sense, but it's just something he said.
Mm-mm.
I'm fairly certain it's 1,000,000%.
No.
Alright, fine. But other than that though, I don't know his age. Don't know how old he is.
He looks like
He
an
looks
elementary
really young.
school.
Yeah, I wouldn't think he's ready.
Yeah, but since
for
they
high
never
school.
said his age, they could
They
perhaps
could've-
do a little age mystifying. All right, he's old enough.
Maybe once they're in third year.
Yeah, that's so far.
Yeah.
And eventually, too, those kids. Oh, dang it! I keep thinking of the Island show.
Oh yeah.
Those
Oh,
kids would have been great to end up
Maybe
in
they'll pop in.
I imagine it's a semi-canon thing where they can pull people from it.
from it. Yeah.
Or maybe we'll see the father. Maybe we'll in passing see the father dropping off supplies or something.
Mhm.
Maybe.
Like we found this guy who's good at healing people of his blood type. But also, my ship of Kirishima and Acid Girl is sailing.
Was that a ship?
It was because remember they knew each other from
Right,
middle
they
school.
did.
Yeah,
And
they
she-
had a whole flashback of
Yeah,
that.
she was the one who inspired him to try and be more brave.
I
Yeah.
could have sworn that there was someone else, but maybe I'm mixing people up. All right.
Oh, it's not. Is it Kirishima?
No,
Is his name?
Kirishima is electric. Is
Uh,
Red
Ka-
Riot.
Yeah, I know who
Yeah,
you're talking
Red
about.
Riot. I don't remember his name. Red Riot boy.
Yeah,
Remember his name, yeah.
you know who his name is.
Katsu? No.
Something else they mentioned. I didn't recognize his name at first, but then I remembered. Aizawa was saying that the police chief was telling
Oh,
him.
the Tsukutsu guy.
Yeah. They were going to have a meeting with Stain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Stain was dead.
No, he unlocked the fifth dimension and left this realm.
I'm
They-
sorry.
He kind of unconscioused himself.
Oh,
It-
okay.
They beat the hell out of him. And then he had an amazing speech which inspired the world's villains.
Yeah.
And I believe even Shigaraki kind of saw him as almost a rival. Wasn't that what it was, like jealous or something? Wasn't that something like that?
Mm,
Was he?
No, they just capitalized on what he was.
Yeah, they hijacked his thing. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Spinner even joined. They
Yeah.
kind of said, no, we're the embodiment of this, and Spinner joined in.
Mm-hmm.
So Stain, thing is though, Stain is not a villain proper,
Mm-hmm.
or at least he is a villain,
Because he
but
killed people.
he incapacitates people. Like
So
he makes it so you can't
very-
act as a hero anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe he kills some people, but his
Cripples them.
I remember he did something to Lita's.
he may paralyzed him.
He
paralyzed
crippled
Lita,
him.
yeah.
I believe he's like did something below his lower back.
Crippled him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Stain has a goal though, where he wants to return true heroes in his mind of what true heroes are to reality. So imagine something super bad happened to him because somebody was glory seeking or something.
Mm. Yeah, we don't have a backstory for him.
Yeah.
Not really.
So I'm wondering if All Might can flip him to our side, perhaps, which would be very instrumental in countering the propaganda machine that will be the Paranormal Liberation Front.
Mm-hmm.
Or because of everybody, I can see him figuring something out to work with All Might, because he truly does love All Might, I believe.
Yeah,
I think
because
he was
he
the
was the
only
one. Yeah.
hero he respected.
He respects All Might.
Yes.
Yeah.
Going back to what's his name? Izuku and
Who?
All Might. Izuku.
Izuku?
Midoriya?
Yes.
Oh.
Guys.
I remember him by
Why you
Midoriya.
call him by Izuku? Who calls him by that?
Who calls him by Izuku?
Nobody calls him by that. Nobody.
Nobody.
Okay, anyway. So they were having the conversation with Bakugo in the room. No, before that. All Might was like, he doesn't look back anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that when he said it like that, I expected something like more cliche, like he's grown so much. But when he said he doesn't look back anymore, I actually felt that.
Yes, I felt
was
it
like,
too. It's like a daddy.
Right?
A daddy looking at his son right off in the distance.
Yeah.
Without
He just-
training wheels.
He's to the point now where he's coming into his own. He's
Yeah.
not looking to All Might for approval.
Yeah.
He's just kind of,
Or even
Try-
for help.
or even for
Yeah.
help. Yeah.
He's able to stand his own.
That was so sweet.
It was.
And then at the meeting, he mentioned that all of them died young. That all
Yeah.
of the other vestiges died young.
So this is something I was thinking about, and I didn't voice it because it's like maybe I just don't understand the timeline. The generations of these quirks. I'm like, it doesn't seem like it's been
That long.
that long.
It wasn't.
But how
Nine.
are there 7 descendants or
7 or 9.
ancestors or
No.
7 or 8? I thought it was 7 because it was 6. It was 6 quirks. They talked about 6 quirks, but there were 7 people. I don't remember. 7 or
It's a
8
lot
or
of
9. It's around that number, and it's like, how are there so many? I don't think there were that many generations because of the son of or grandson whoever of the current not leader anymore of Denerat, or how do you say that?
Destro?
Redestro.
It's only been 4 generations since the birth of quirks.
Right. So the reason there's so many is because they died young.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons they were weak to begin with. And I don't know that definitely no, they didn't inherit the quirks yet. Like they inherited, but they never wielded ancestors' quirks.
Yeah. I believe All Might says that it's never occurred.
It's never
until
occurred,
now.
right? So he's the first one. Midoriya is the first one.
Maybe it's because he's a blank slate. Maybe that's why he was able to use all of them. Because the others would just be used to their own quirks. So that's all
Right.
they would try to use.
Yeah, like it's subconsciously that's what they're capable of doing. But he had nothing subconsciously, not growing up, so he had to learn.
I believe the vestige inside of him, the first one, the brother, had said that it's ready.
Yeah.
Like he had said they weren't ready before.
Yeah,
Mm.
the
As if
time
it's
has
been
come.
As if it's been growing over
Yeah.
time.
Baking.
Yeah,
Yeah. So maybe the closer he said it's too late now. The singularity has started.
yeah,
So maybe the farther down the generations it goes, as it got more complicated, things got also become more compatible. Because singularity implies that becoming one, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that what the word means? Something like that.
Something like that. Like,
you know how English is. It sounds like one thing, and
All right, never mind about that. But, but yeah, so also there was that one thing. No, I already brought it up. Never mind.
the other thing is Eri. So
Eri.
just like we thought in the beginning, we were like maybe Eri would
It's
come up.
Scratchy.
It's itchy, yeah. So and
Wait.
it's sparking.
it's itchy.
What does that mean?
Like Tomura.
Tomura was itchy.
She wants to use her power.
Oh, it could be that that's referring to. Yeah.
What she needs to do is touch Tomura and make him back into tiny Tomura. And
I
then
think
everything
she's-
will. I think that's his only way to get a happy ending.
Yeah, I was thinking. Well, his mind doesn't reverse. Oh, we don't know. Do we?
We never tried, I don't think.
We only know of people being
Disappearing
totally
completely.
disappearing because their power is too strong.
Yeah, but so I was thinking she would be instrumental in the defeat of Shigaraki because they have nobody right now who is strong enough to defeat him. I don't think. Like you just have to be in contact with something he touches, which means you stand on the ground and you're dead.
Well, Midoriya has the potential of doing.
He's gonna get floaty.
He's gonna float, so he'll be able
and needs
to avoid
long
it.
range attacks. With
Yeah.
his punching. He had to get used to doing long range attacks
Yeah.
because he kept messing up his arms. So now he could just punch the air and kind of potentially hurt him. Because even though he won the fight, Shigaraki got messed up pretty bad in that
Yeah.
fight against the guy. A lot of it was self-inflicted, but it wasn't easy to beat
True.
Redestro.
And Shigaraki's a little more carefree so to speak, where he's not really trying to protect himself.
Yeah, he puts himself in danger
Yeah.
Yeah.
all the time.
Which makes him more dangerous. He's not. There's no self-defense mechanism going on here.
Mhm.
Nah.
It's just all destroy.
The craziest thing to me is that it's not going to come down to just Shigaraki fight. They're going to get through everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
Like Giga,
Makia,
who
Giga
nobody has beaten yet.
And
Not even Shigaraki.
and he now likes Shigaraki.
Yeah, he's with him now.
Yeah.
They have never shown a weak moment from Giga.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
He just kind of started slowing down because he was getting tired, but now he's probably resting over 4 months.
Yeah. I don't think we can count on him getting tired, to be
No.
honest.
But hopefully by then Deku can punch so hard that it changes the weather.
Yeah. I want to know the origin of Giga. For somebody to be trusted enough to become this right-hand man, well, not right-hand man, the bodyguard,
Mm-hmm.
someone that he
Of
allows
one.
to be that close to him,
Yeah.
that he allows to be that strong. I'm wondering where he found him and why he trusts him so much.
Yeah.
Mm.
Obviously, he semi-worships him,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering, like, where did that start from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we might eventually get it, seeing that we got an entire backstory for Tomura that we didn't expect.
Yeah.
So we may eventually get something from Makia.
And one last thing is just, I wonder how much powers were stifled as a result of
That mental.
one for all for one,
All for one.
killing so many of the strong people.
Mm.
I wonder if there's something if in the past that we've seen that made us question as to why some quirks seem so, like, now all of a sudden all quirks are strong and back then they were weak.
Mhm.
You know, I wonder if there was ever a moment like that where we had that question. Because I just wonder if maybe an entire generation was potentially wiped out of people who could have been contenders back then.
Yeah.
Like if someone says, man, it was, I don't know, remember powers being this strong.
Yeah.
Like maybe we could now, if we were on second viewing, we were able to see that perhaps.
Mm.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Last thing to mention, or last thing I have to mention, is Hawk. He was too late. He got in just as the Liberation Army merged with, what's the face? With
League of Villains.
League of Villains.
What would you have done though?
I think he was just trying to disrupt things
Yeah.
enough to the point where they couldn't get stronger. But
Yeah.
now it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
Yep.
and Hawks is not. I don't think Hawks is trusted enough yet. He wants to be trusted enough.
Mm.
He's like that's something we forgot to mention. Gene that we
That's
think
genius.
Genius that he brought to Dabi, and I'm guessing it was for the Nomu. But what is his feel safe? That is he like throwing Gene under the bus, like literally, because Gene might be turned into a Nomu.
is it actually Jean?
Is it actually Gene? That was the other question.
Do we know of anybody who can body double like Twin?
I don't know.
I imagine somebody like Hawks with an entire precinct he's over would come across something like that. But
Maybe.
I'm just wondering, is he capable of that?
And he wants to get in. I don't know if he would risk doing a fake.
Yeah.
But why would he do real Gene? I'm hoping to find out that it wasn't the real Gene, like he did something.
Mm-hmm. They didn't show his face or anything
No,
in the
it was
bag.
but it was just a hint for us to know
Mm-hmm.
who it was.
I mean, I feel like because just from his background, because of we saw Hawk's background is basically always been for whatever agency he's working for
Yeah.
his whole life. For me, it's not that far of a stretch for me to think that he would have killed Genus to get his mission done.
Yeah, maybe. It's just, I feel like we also haven't seen enough of his side of things.
Mm.
Like, we've seen the flashbacks to his childhood and the way he was raised, but
Mhm.
it's almost give me a feeling that he's near rebellious in that he wants to do things his own way, but
Mhm.
just been doing things the way they tell him to.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see the moment of, I've got to do this, even though I don't want to do this. Like, I want to see that I want to see his thought process before he has to do something dirty, and base it off of that, if he did it or not.
You know, to me, Hawks is still an enigma to me. Like, even with his little backstory and the ending screen showing him as a child and loving Endeavor,
Mm-hmm.
I still don't feel like I understand him enough. Like,
No, of
because you on the one hand you see he's like acting as a secret agent, so it's like you know he's supposed to be on the good side, and you can see that because he's struggling, like, it's too late, and he's feeling like, I need to do something.
Yeah.
So we can feel like he has a struggle for the good. He wants to be good, but then you see him do something like that with Jean, where he goes that far to complete a mission, to show himself loyal, and you wonder, like, how far would he go? I don't know that I understand that he would. You know, like you said that you think after all that he's gone through, maybe he would go that far. I don't know.
Well, I think it's a question of, is he about justice or is he doing a job?
I think he's about justice, but I feel like he might be the type of person where the means justifies the ends.
So with this season, it really felt like there was a lot of waiting, and even at the end of the season, it says, okay, now we're going to start.
Yeah.
You know? So while I will say the end of the season has probably been one of the best ends of any season that My Hero's ever had, as in the last 10 episodes or so, I would say, though, there are a lot of waiting moments where, like, even with the Endeavor arc, it felt like the Endeavor arc was such a long time coming, but at the same time, it came at right between another. I don't even remember what came before it with the. I believe it was the training.
Maybe the training, yeah.
Yeah, we had the training, and then in the beginning of the season, we had Deku saying if one day we wouldn't be able to smile, so it's good that we were smiling at this point. So there were so many ominous tones of the season that by the end of it, I was waiting for that.
And it still didn't come.
Yeah, it still didn't come. So as a result of that, it goes down a little bit on my board. But that ending was so good.
Yeah.
You know? But if you go into this season hoping to see resolution, you're not going to get it.
No. It's a lot of setup. A lot of placing dominoes.
Yeah, and a big part of it is it's a season. It's not the whole show, you know? But it's... Because I'm so used to rating these shows based off how complete they are.
Yeah.
Based off of because usually we watch a show that's only one season.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so I'd say this is a good season overall, but it does suffer from the fact it's not done, so...
Yeah.
Hey, nothing you can do about that. But I do wish it didn't hint as if something was going to happen this season.
Yeah.
When, no, we're just building up.
Something.
Right. There's a lot of waiting this season.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my only issue with it. Other than that, it was a good season. We got to see some Todoroki family, where they're going to go. We got to see a little bit more of Bakugo's angry personality. It's like it's weird because he's like a normal person, just very angry and aggressive.
Yeah.
He's like, the food was really good. You better give me the recipe.
Bakugo makes me wonder if he was supposed to get more written about him and why he was the way he was early in season 1, but if the reception was so good to his rage that it just kept going with it, and never stopped.
Instead of like fixing it.
Yeah, because his character, it was always like, okay, well, why is he so mad towards Midoriya? Maybe we'll see more besides parents in a little bit at some point. But no, that's just it. He just always like that.
No, we did get a bit of a backstory for him near the beginning.
Yeah.
But it wasn't deep. It was just like,
yeah, I mean, something to explain why he's always so angry.
I think they always showed him as a fiery character. Like he was like leader of his group, and he was always angry at Midoriya, even when he was starting to develop his quirk, and Midoriya was always excited or whatever, and he just developed this issue with Midoriya. I can't remember what they said the problem was, but it was from. Do you remember? Yeah.
Basically, it was because Midoriya was always the lowest rung on the totem pole. So, since he's on the top, so for some reason got this disdain for Midoriya always trying to help people even though he's on the lowest rung.
Like he shouldn't be trying.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. And then once he started becoming strong, he basically had to rework the way he saw the world, because he's like the bottom is up here now. That's not right.
Yeah, he kind of did that with his new classmates when he met them.
Yeah.
Where he would call, first Overhaul. He called Overhaul, hey, you determined boy. Like he called him like stupid boy at first, but then he kept pushing. It's like, determined boy, fearless boy. Like his way of thinking is he puts you in a category and you stay there forever.
Overhaul?
Overkill. What, the guy who can make his body armor?
Oh, Red Riot.
Red Riot. Oh, I was naming
Overhaul, the villain of season 4.
I was naming his quirk is over something when he goes to maximum extent or something like that. But Yeah, I think he just compartmentalizes people,
Mhm.
and because Deku doesn't compartmentalize very well, because now he
Mhm.
jumps all over the place. It doesn't
Mhm.
make any sense, and that irritated him.
Yeah.
But
He's very.
And I think he's
organized.
just like a habit now of being overly angry all the time. I think
Mhm.
that's all it is now.
yeah,
Die germs!
that's what I was saying when I was starting with early on in seasons. It seemed like there was more to it, but nowadays it seems almost like
I
you
see
know
what
what
you're
happens
saying.
to an actor when they get typecast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like that. Yeah,
It's like that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to say about the season. I feel like the entire show, My Hero Academia, from the beginning, has been set up.
Yeah.
From the first
Yeah.
season, I always felt like they were reaching for, and then this is going to happen in the future. They always did with the voiceovers, how I became the #1 hero, and
Yeah.
like, yeah, we're not there yet. Like every season, we're not there yet. So I didn't really feel a struggle this season. I was just like, yeah, this is the way it is.
Mhm.
So I really enjoyed the different arcs. I thought we were actually gonna be in that first arc the whole time. Like I thought it was gonna be
What first arc?
the first one was the
School
the fighting thing,
class
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 tournament thing.
tournament thing.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be mostly in the school,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe at the very end they'd give a hint of something else. But I was glad that they switched rather quickly in between to Endeavor Work Study and then Villain Academy. Eri, we forgot about. No, Eri wasn't the season. Yeah, but like I enjoyed the different arcs that were going on this season. I felt pretty happy too with the end. Like you guys, I liked the whole villain thing. Did not expect it at all.
Yeah,
like
that
getting
was
so deep into the Tomura's backstory. That's like gift from the gods, you know, to get that kind of information.
Yeah.
I feel like understanding him more is really fun and really will make it that much more sweet a defeat of his when he dies, or when he not dies. Maybe he won't die.
No.
But when he's defeated,
Yeah.
it'll be that much more sweet because it's so much more emotional.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my issue with it has always been though, like when it's got this overall arc for the entire show, but each season's kind of had a point where like the last season was we're dealing with Overhaul, you know, and there was build up towards Overhaul, and then Overhaul happened and then it finished. And sure, there was an overall, you got the League of Villains going, but they had something too. With the Stain arc, we had that ending with the League of Villains forming in the first season, so stuff like that. But with this season, it was arc, but nothing really ever.
There's no resolution.
There was
to
no
any
resolution to any of those
thing.
arcs.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
With Endeavor arc, they met, they spoke, but they still got issues now,
Yeah.
and that moved on. The training was just a training tournament arc. You can't really have an ending to that, stuff like that. So it kind of felt like this one was kind of a bridge to the next arc.
Yeah.
More so. I didn't say it was bad though. I liked the season.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you very much for being here. Guys, if you like your time here, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. Check out the Patreon description if you guys just want to help us out, or if you want to see the new episode of Star Wars Visions up on Patreon, or any other shows we got back on our banner. So see you guys next time in the next season, maybe, on the React Act. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, bye.
A special thanks to Dorian, Elia, Mitchell D, Jackie, and Robin.